Today we're going to look at another way to solve a system. This one here is called linear combination. Sometimes you'll even hear it called elimination. So here's the notes. Basically, step one, you arrange the equation with like terms in columns. Or sometimes I like to say, go ahead and put it in standard form. Multiply one or both equations by an appropriate number to obtain new coefficients for x or y that are opposites. So after you arrange them, you're going to look for opposites. Add the equations, solve for the remaining variable, substitute that value in to the other equation, and solve for the other variable and check. You're like, what? So let's look at this example. Remember, our system has a little thingy like that. Here's our system. It is two equations and two variables. So we're probably not going to solve for y in order to graph it or substitute it because the coefficients of all four variables are not 1. So if you notice, it is in standard form. These are opposites, and the coefficients are the same. So what I'm going to do, I'll add this equation down. Are you allowed to do that? Yes. What you do to one side of an equation, you have to do to the other. So if you add them together, you have eliminated the y in this example. And then you solve for x, so x is 1. Then you go ahead and substitute this into equation 1 to solve for y. So after I substitute it in, I get y equals 0. The solution is 1, 0. And always check or verify, right? Check and verify, like from our notes the other day, that it does work for both equations. So I'm going to do example 2 with you. Then you can stop the video and you will do example number 3 and come back and check. So if you look here, it's already in standard forms. Sometimes you have to multiply one or both equations by an appropriate number before finding the sum. So if you look here, 8x plus 2y equals 16, and 5x minus y equals 28. So we have opposite signs, but the coefficients are not the same. So I'm going to multiply the bottom one by 2. And after I multiply the bottom one by 2, remember you have to multiply each part of the entire equation. I get 10x because 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2y. And 2 times 28 equals 56. Now I have my system, and I'm going to add down. And the reason why I'm adding down is so I can eliminate the y's, and I get 18x equals 72. And when I divide by 18, I get x equals 4. So now I know x equals 4. I'm going to substitute it into the first equation there. 8 times 4 plus 2y equals 16. So I get 32 plus 2y equals, excuse me, 16. So 2y equals negative 16 because I subtracted 32 from both sides. So y is going to equal negative 8. So my solution, remember a solution is an ordered pair. It's 4, negative 8. And I should always check it. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus negative 8 is adding, so 28, good. 8 times 4 is 32. minus 16 because 2 times negative 8 is negative 16 does give me that. So I've checked it that it works. Let me give you a minute. I wanted you to work on this by yourself, but let's look at it for a minute. Because in this example, you look and all the coefficients are greater than 1, and there's no opposites. Oh, wait a minute, there is an opposite, right? We have plus 3 and minus 4, but the coefficients are not the same. So what you should be thinking is, oh, now I need to multiply both equations by something. So I am going to multiply the top one. What should I multiply it by? Well, in order to these to be the same, I'm going to have to multiply this top one by 4 and this bottom one by 3. Go ahead and stop the video, finish this out. I'm available for any questions, and I'll post the answers right on here. So after you multiplied the top one by 4, you should have gotten 8x plus 12y equals 4, and 15x, right, because 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12, and 3 times 14 is 42. Now I'm ready to add down, and I get 23x equals 46. Divide both sides by 23, and I get x equals 2. Now I substitute in x is 2, and in theory, you can substitute it into both to make sure you get the same y value. So we get 4 plus 3y equals 1. Subtract 4. You get 3y equals negative 3. So y equals negative 1. My solution is 2, negative 1. Let me make sure that makes sense. 5 times 2 is 10. Minus 4 times negative 1, which is really adding 4. Yep, I got 13. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 3 is 1. So it's checked out. Next, I have for you to work on some practice.